I was playing out in the street when I was like 4 years old, and this couple had come up to me and asked me where my dad was. And I told them that he was up in the hotel room. And whenever they went up there to find him, they found him overdosed on some type of drug. And so the police were called, and CBS came in and took me out of the home because my mom was in prison at the time. The abandonment was so hard, you know, like I never wanted to process it. And it just became really easy to numb out. And it's just one of those things where it's like, well, your mom and dad don't want you, right? So who else would?
Jeff and I had biological children, but from the very get-go, we wanted to adopt.
Whenever my parents came to the orphanage I was out playing on the playground, and my sister, Lindy, she came up to me and was like introducing herself.
They brought all the kids back in. Here comes Lindy, and she said,
hey, this is my mom and dad. And I remember saying, hey, Mom and Dad.
And he looked up with that little sweet face and said, hi, Mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want this one. I want him.
And then from that day, they took me and they introduced me to Jesus very quickly. And I went to church with them all the time. I can remember being in RAs, which is Royal Ambassadors, and it was just like this amazing transition. I didn't really think about my past at that point until I got older.
When we moved to Archer City, there seemed to be a shift. He was in 8th grade. He was making new friends. Some of them were good, some weren't. And we were trying to be open, thinking he could be an influence on them, and that's true, but
my lowest low was Justin. As like we said, when we moved to Archer City, he started sneaking out of the house. There was whatever we could do, he'd still sneak out. So me and him had a difficult relationship, had a lot of anger towards him, and I gathered he did with me too.
Right before I came into Teen Challenge, you know, I found myself in a hotel with nothing left. You know, I had nothing, and I cried out to God, and I was like, Lord, I need you right now. There's nothing that I can do on my own. I know that I need you, and within 5 minutes, God had answered my prayer. My mom had called me and started telling me about Adult and Teen Challenge. She was like, well, if you're willing to actually come home and try, you know, my uncle could come pick me up. And spent about a week with them, and then went into the program of Adult and Teen Challenge.
when we first called Teen Challenge, I knew that it was a year-long program, and I wanted Justin there, but I was concerned about the costs. When I found out that really what they just expected from us was an initial startup cost, I was kind of in shock. I'm just so grateful for the donors and the people who help out, and the churches that give, and the jobs the men are able to do that help to have this program that is so phenomenal that we couldn't have afforded just private pay.
Well, we was blessed to find out once we called up here to see how much the cost was to Adult Teen Challenge. It was just a small amount. And because of the faithful donors and sponsors, and I just want to tell you how much we appreciate it, because my son, he's grown so much in this last year. I just thank God how much he's done for Justin. And I want Justin to know how much I appreciate him and how much I love him. Praise God for what he's doing for him and is going to do. I can't wait to see where God takes him.
During the program, I decided to go through the Aspiring Leadership Program, and what that entails is I worked a part-time job in third phase, and I entered an internship after my 12-month date, and I will be graduating on June 12th after my internship, and I'm planning to work for Adult and Teen Challenge full-time as a staff member. I just want to give back, to the program that God used to change my life. And the most fulfilling thing for me right now is just being able to pour into other people's lives and to see Christ change them. I've had the privilege of seeing men come in broken just like I was, be completely transformed, families restored, and just given their sanity back. And to be able to be a part of that change and just be able to have an influence on some of these guys is really like all I want right now. And I believe that God's put that desire in my heart. I don't know how long I'll work for Teen Challenge, but I know that God has called me to full-time ministry. And whatever capacity that is, I know it's going to be good because God's going to be with me through it all.